are now, by the way, starting to learn about what resources the Department of Homeland Security will and won't be given from now until the end of September. The White House and congressional negotiators hammered out a spending deal which would reportedly include an increase in detention beds and allow Border Patrol to have up to 22,000 agents. The deal, though, does not include new money for new border wall. Come on in, the congressman from Florida, Carlos Gimenez, who is also a member of the Homeland Security Committee. Congressman, good to talk to you as always. Nice to see you. DHS, we sort of have an outline now what they're going to get to deal with the border. Is it enough, as you see it from your perch on the Homeland Security Committee?
No, I don't think it is. I think, look, we have to negotiate because we don't control all the government. You know, our deal, or my thought is that if President Biden is really serious about controlling the border, he's got 64 different things that he can do. That's undoing the 64 things, the executive orders that got us into this mess to begin with. And so this whole thing that somehow he needs more funding, yeah, he needs more funding because he created a huge mess. Look, nothing changed from January 19th, 2021 to January 21st, 2021. The only thing that changed was the President of the United States and started undoing the executive orders of the previous administration that were working and then starting issuing his own, which aren't working. And so, no, you know, this was a compromise. I'm not crazy about adding the beds. That just means that, hey, you can continue to fail at the border the way you've been failing for the last 3 years.
So here was the DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, Congressman, here in Washington yesterday. He says, it's a cause for a sigh of relief that we make it another day, but we are terribly, terribly underfunded. So is he right there? I mean, I heard you, I think, say there that they are sort of underfunded, but so do you agree with the DHS Secretary?
No, I don't. I don't agree with anything the DHS Secretary does. I think we just impeached him, for God's sakes. So, no. Look, again, the problem at the border, and it's been told not only to the DHS Secretary, but probably to the President himself, is the policies. The policies of this administration is what's causing the mess at the border. He has to undo the policies that he is, the 64 steps that he's taken to create this mess. And by the way, if he starts to do that and shows some good faith, then maybe, look, if it turns out that he does need a little bit of money, or at least we know, hey, you know, he's tried to undo the mess he started. Let's give him a hand. But he doesn't do that. And he won't do that, because if he does, he'll be proving us right, that it was him all along, that it was the Secretary of Homeland Security all along that have failed to listen to their own people and have caused this huge mess that we have, which is the southern border.
Congressman, your home state of Florida, down south, you see what's going on in Cuba, and you see what's going on in Haiti. The governor of your state, a Republican, Ron DeSantis, suggested in a radio interview within the past day here that he could start airlifting Haitian migrants to Martha's Vineyard. This is what he said. He said, we have our transport program that's going to be operational, so Haitians who land in the Florida Keys, their next stop very well may be Martha's Vineyard. You know this, Congressman. I used to cover you when I was in your office on that 35th floor or whatever there in the middle of downtown Miami. This is
not that high. 29th floor.
29th floor. All right, I was in the neighborhood. Haitian migrants have been coming to Florida annually, and the governor could have suggested that in the recent years, and he hasn't. But now he is. So is that serious policy?
Right. Well, I think we're looking at a mass migration because of the situation in Haiti, which is completely out of control. I've never seen it this bad in Haiti, and I've been in South Florida for over 60 years. And yes, we've had migrations from Haiti for a number of years, but he's fearing a mass migration. And unless we get a multinational peacekeeping force into Haiti to restore order, to put in jail the gang members, especially this guy called Barbecue, who, if we don't do anything about it, will be the next dictator of Haiti. And he's named Barbecue because he actually burns people. Okay, I think that he needs to look. There's an organization called CARICOM that is working to try to get a transitional government in there. The United States is involved in that effort. I think the president needs to go to the United Nations, get a multinational force to go into Haiti and restore order. Because no matter what you do, if you want to put a transitional government in Haiti, unless you restore order, it's going to be fruitless. So you have to restore order first. The United States, being the leader of the free world, being the leader in this hemisphere, needs to take the lead in that, go to the United Nations and get a multinational force to restore order in Haiti. If not, it's going to come to us, and it's coming to us already. So it's going to be our problem one way or the other. And a the superpower that we are, we need to step up and make sure that that doesn't happen.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.